Okay, today we're going to be plinking around with the Umarex TR50. This is the gun that I installed the rear ASA buttstock adapter on. And I was firing it the other day after installing the tuning barrel. But the other day I had the 90-gram buttstock connected. Today I'm going to be trying the 112-gram in the handle and 2 in this external Umarex quick pairs and stock setup here with on and off, mag on and off valve here. And what I'll be doing is we'll be shooting a variety of ammunition today to run down this barrel here. So we'll be shooting the 12.7 millimeter steel ball bearings. These weigh in at 8.4 grams. I have weighed these on other videos, so if anybody really needs the statistics on them, I would say go ahead and look at those videos. I'm not re-weighing all these today. So these are 8.4 grams. I will be shooting them without the extension, so we'll shoot those first without this extension since they will not fit down this extension. I could force them through maybe and watch some fireworks, but it's not for the faint-hearted, so I'm not going to do that. But they will slip down just fine. They're snug, but they go down the tuning barrel, the regular tuning barrel that's in there. So we'll shoot those first under the pressure of 36 grams of CO2 with the 3 12 grams together. Next up, we'll be shooting these less lethal ballistics 50 caliber shaped ammunition called the Guardian. These are 3.5 grams. I've also shot these out of this gun before, out of the stock barrel. And these are smaller. I forget exactly what they measured out with the micrometer, but they definitely slip down the standard, the stock barrel, and they do slip down the tuning barrel. They also go through with ease the extension of the tuning barrel. So we'll be shooting those. So ball bearings first without the extension, and then I'll put the extension on. We'll be shooting the rest of this assortment of ammo here. The Stingers shaped ammo. Of course, the Contenders by Less Lethal Ballistics. Did I say Contenders? That's not what I meant to say. Oh my goodness, all these names. I'm forgetting, but anyways, I just shot these the other day. These are my kind of go-to because it's one of the heavier rounds I have that'll go down pretty much every barrel that I have. The 4 gram. I still can't think of the name. These names are tough to follow. And last but not least, the 2.7 gram, everybody's favorite, inexpensive, alien play solid aluminum. These, again, will slip down pretty much everything as well. I mean, you can put these down a BP50 stock barrel. You can put these down pretty much everything. Not the best bore matcher by any means, but, a decent intermediate weight, 2.7 grams. They're cheap. You're plinking outside with them. You ain't going to break the bank, losing them in the woods, so... However, these other ammos, a little different story. Probably want to save those for home defense. Ball bearings, yeah, they can be pricey, but sometimes you can get a good deal on them. Biggest thing with those is whether you can get them down the barrel. I still have to figure out if there's a way I can open this barrel up outside of forcing a bunch of rounds down it, which I don't want to do, but we'll figure that out. Anyways, that's what we'll be shooting downstairs today. And yeah, we'll have some fun with that. See what kind of numbers we get on the various ammos. All right, I know I just said that I wasn't going to reweigh them, but you know what? Let me just quickly reweigh one of each particular ammunition that we're going to be using today. So I'm going to start with the ball bearings, steel ball bearings. 12.7 millimeter. This one here is weighing in at 8.35. I'm going to call it 8.4. So we'll be shooting those first without the extension on the tuning barrel. And then the next one that we're going to be shooting with the extension on the tuning barrel are these Guardians. Oh, as I drop the darn thing, so small. These pointy shaped Guardians. These have little small steel ball bearing inside, encapsulated in the plastic or some kind of polymer. And those weigh in at 3.5 grams. And what are we shooting after that? The less than lethal ballistics, which actually that shaped Guardian was also less than lethal ballistics brand. And then we have the Vindicator. I couldn't remember the name earlier. So these are usually 4 grams. Rocking in at 4 grams, the Vindicator. Okay, that does slip down both the tuning barrel and the extension, along with the shaped round as well. And then, last but not least, one of our favorite go-tos, the Alien Play solid aluminum, which pretty much slips down every barrel. And that should be 2.7. Yeah, 2.72. Okay, so that is weighing in the ammo. And yes, I already have heavily oiled. The CO2 cartridges are already in this, so you'll have to believe me when I say I am oiling it. What I've been using is this Super Lube here. I have Super Lube in the grease form. I use that when I'm servicing the bolts and the springs and everything. And then I always put a couple drops of the multi-use synthetic Super Lube with the Teflon. I put that in, a couple drops in with every CO2. Sometimes a little more than a couple drops, but trust me when I tell you, it is lubricated in there. All right, we'll see how this goes today downstairs and have a little bit of fun plinking, get a few numbers on the various ammos. All right, we're down in the shooting range here in the basement. It's about 60 degrees down here. It's a little chilly. So I got me a nice warm sweatshirt on. So we're going to be doing some plinking today with the Umarex TR50. This is indeed the gun that I recently installed a tuning barrel on. And also, for today, it's also the gun that we were shooting the other day with the 90 gram, which had some really good numbers. So today, kind of experimenting with the Umarex 2x12 quick puncture, going through an on and off valve. And we also got a 12 gram in the handle as well. So let's start off by puncturing the 12 gram in the handle, and then we'll go ahead and puncture the other one here. Let's make sure we don't have any leaks. This was leak free the other day, so let's start with that. This way, if we do have a leak, I'm only wasting a single 12 instead of well, I got the on and off valve anyway, so another good reason for having the on and off valve. Safety, in case you got a jam, you can quickly, isolate the gas source, the ASA source from the jam. So it's helpful to have in there for safety. So let's get the handle going first. All right. Everything sounds good. Sounds pretty good. Not hearing anything hissing, fissing here. We'll go see how that works. Now, I am going to, let's see, haven't done it on this gun before. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. All right, let's just hold it this way and give it a try here. Didn't hear anything. Don't know that I should. I mean, I do have this on and off valve in its open position or off position. I got pressure on there now, so I'm going to assume that everything's good. The CO2 cartridges that are in this are the Crossman brand but I did add that little plastic spacer in between the two cartridges, which seemed to fix my problem when I was using the Crossman in the X68 there, the Stormtrooper build. So I think we should be good with this. Feels cold. Of course, everything feels cold down here now, but the rest of it doesn't feel cold. So I'm going to guess that we got a puncture. Let's hope we got, they both punctured. So because I cannot get, well, first of all, as we discussed upstairs already and did the weigh-in on the ammo, we're going to start off with the ball bearings, the 12.7 millimeter ball bearings, 8.4 grams. We're going to start with those first with the tuning barrel extension removed, since I can't, the ball bearings are too large for the tuning barrel. They do slip through the tuning barrel extension, they're too large for. They do roll through snug, really actually kind of a nice bore match with the tuning barrel itself. So we're going to try these first today. We're just going to be popping some holes in there in some of that target paper. And we'll use that just in case anything wants to come bouncing out. Maybe it'll help keep it under control. So, all right, so we're aired up, and we have 6 rounds of the ball bearings. We're going to fire those first, and then, like I said, then we'll put the extension on, and we'll do the less lethal's ballistic Guardian shaped ammo, and then we'll move to the less lethal ballistics. There I go again, forgetting the name of the darn stuff. Anyways, they're 4 gram ammo. And then last but not least, we'll shoot the Alien Play solid aluminum, which comes in at 2.7 grams. So we're going to start off with the ball bearings, 8.4. I did throw my laser bore sighter back on this gun and adjusted the sights. And then I incidentally dropped it and had to do it again. These things do not hold up very well to shock. Matter of fact, these cheaper scopes, I'd be surprised if you had much luck with them on a real firearm that had any kind of recoil. But let's hope that everything's still good. I had it sighted in last night, so we'll try that. All right, so first shot with the steel ball bearings. Oh, I almost forgot to get my X radar. We want to capture some of these anyways. All right, here we go. Shot 1, guys. Here we go. I mean, a little tricky putting the X radar on this one, but let's give it a whirl. I'm going to shoot for the center and see where we go with this. (252 feet per second). And I did flinch a little bit, but not too bad. She's shooting true. At least I'm not bouncing off the side of the target box anyways. Target trap. So that's shot 1. Let's try another one. That was the ball bearings. So that's the heaviest stuff. Shot number 2. Here we go. Well, punched a hole through the same spot. So I would say my accuracy, I'm aiming pretty well, but I think my sight's still off. So that second shot came in at 258 feet per second. Let's try the top right square. Let's see if we can get that one. Well, when I aim for that one, now I'm in the 10 zone. 254 feet per second. That was 3 shots. I got 3 more to go. All right, so this scope's still off. Let's go for the upper left. 244 feet per second. Now those feet per second's a little lower than what we were doing the other day, but you know, this ammo's like over twice as heavy as the Vindicators. That's it. The Vindicators. The ones I was forgetting yesterday. All right, here we go. I'm babbling. Let's go again. 224 feet per second. Was that 6 shots? Nope. I got 1 more. One more shot here. Be nice to use the forward grip, but I can't do that and hold the darn X radar at the same time. All right, here's shot number 6. 164. So what I'm seeing right now is I can these heavy rounds, even with the 12 grams in here, they're using up a lot of CO2. Again, assuming I had a good puncture everywhere. They're using a lot of CO2. So, but I'm moving to some later ammo now. I'm hoping I'm still going to be able to get through all these different selections of ammo here, because I left the CO2 upstairs, the extra stuff. So I'm just going to whack these again just for shits and giggles sake, just to make sure. I know this one definitely punctured fully. Let me see what we have here. This one. I mean, I can only assume that I'm all right because I got that spacer in here. All right. So that was the steel ball bearings. My sight's still off. I mean, my goodness, at 14 feet, I should be on the money with this thing, but the next thing we're going to shoot is going to be the shaped ammunition. This is the Guardian, made by, or sold by anyways, Less Lethal Ballistics. Whether the guy's making them or not, I don't know. Probably not. Probably made everywhere else, everything else is. But anyways, pointed, I shot these before. They're pretty good. 3.5 grams. Pretty good. So let's see how they do here. Hopefully we got enough gas to do what we got to do. This will be the first time I'm shooting these through the tuning barrel, which actually, I'm sorry, we're going to get more power if we put this on. Let me put the tuning barrel extension on, because now we're shooting ammo that does slide through. I did check. It will slide through the extension. So we'll, we don't want to forget to put that on, because that's going to give us, definitely going to give us a power, feet per second and a joules increase. So, and let's always just make sure barrel still floats pretty good. Looks good. Got that nice and tight. All right, now we'll put our, what do I call this? Guardian. Now we'll put our Guardian ammo back on, and we'll give it a try here. All right, so shot 1, mag 2 with the Guardian. And let's get a reading on this. It's a little easier now, got a longer barrel. Let's see what we get here. I'm going to shoot for the center. Actually, I'm going to shoot for the top left target. Okay, 262 feet per second. That's shot 1. Definitely feel like I don't have the power I had before. I used up a lot of gas shooting those heavy rounds. Shot 2. 114. Yeah, this ain't going very well. Okay. I'm going to give her another shot and see what happens, but I think I'm going to be going upstairs to get some more CO2, because I really want to finish shooting this stuff. So let's see where we're at here with this. Yeah, nothing. All right, so it's a good opportunity right now to also check to see if I'm still got a good puncture on the 2x12. And then I'll pause this and I'll go upstairs and get 3 more cartridges. I may just get some Umarex CO2. I got a bunch of that. I'm almost done working my way through the see, this thing is so oily, it is dripping off. So for those guys that like to comment about, I never see you oil your gun, trust me, I'm oiling these things. They're slick. This is a slick 50, all right? Slick 50. For any of you guys that ever put slick 50 in your engines, the original Teflon engine treatment, there's a little play on that for you. This is a 50 cal, slick 50. Anyways, that's a dad joke, I guess. But I mean, you can see it, beat it up right there. Beat it up on the tip there. Maybe you can see it. I don't know. I guess you got to trust me. All right, so we got a good puncture there. Let's see. This. Oh my goodness. I feel so stupid. No wonder why we lost power. I never turned the damn gog on. It's still off after I punctured it. All right, so we're gonna put this back in here. All right, this is real life, man. Real life boo-boos, okay? All right, you can all laugh at me now. We still got CO2, so we're gonna continue. I don't have to pause nothing. I just got a little embarrassment now. I don't know if I'm like 50 shades of red over here. If I look red or not, but yeah, I pulled. The dummy forgot to turn the gog on. To turn the gog on and off on. This is what the dummy did. So what we're gonna do is let me see if I can find the other two Guardians. I got one here. As long as you don't shoot them at steel targets, which I have done, they're reusable. Oh, that's one of my ball bearings too. All right, so let's look at these Guardians. They hold up fine, just hitting that target trap. Yeah, everything looks fine. I don't see any cracks in it. So I'm going to put these in here. This way we can start where we left off. So that was all one CO2, which probably wasn't too bad. Of course, my numbers on those ball bearings probably would have been a lot better having 36 grams worth of pressure on there. So I'll have to try that again at some point. I don't want to try it now because now I only have 24. So, and at least that first shot will probably be pretty good. Anyway, so we're going to put these Guardians back in here. The shaped ammo. And I'm going to turn this on this time. I need to make sure this is punked because with punctured again, it's on because with the Umarex quick puncture, you have to hit it even if you got an empty cartridge in there. So that's on. Now I'm going to air up because I know I'm punctured here. Yep, you can hear the bolt. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I could hear it, hear the gas go through. So we got 24 grams now on here. And we are loaded with the Guardians. Let's give this another try. All right. It's a lot freaking louder, I'll tell you that. Holy shit. Big difference, 434 feet per second. Of course, I'm shooting ammo that's only 3.5 grams versus the 8.4 grams of the steel ball bearings. So, you know, you get double feet per second. I mean, much higher velocity. It's a lot louder too. I have no clue where that thing went. Let's try it again. Shot number 2. Let's aim for the top left. 428 feet per second. Here's shot 3. 420 feet per second. Shot 4. 418 feet per second. Shot 5 of the Guardian. 414 feet per second. And this should be the last Guardian here. 404 feet per second. All right, we're going to move on to the Vindicators by Less Lethal Ballistics. We'll do 6 of these Vindicators. This is actually what we were shooting exclusively the other day with the 90 gram on the back of the TR50. But we'll go ahead and shoot those as well. This way we'll have some comparison on numbers later when I get back in the office. So we got 6 of those. And let's see what we're getting again for these. I think we were getting pretty good numbers the other day with these, but that was also with the 90 gram CO2. So we'll see what we're getting. Let me make sure this thing ain't looser. Yeah, it feels good. Barrel feels good. Here we go, guys. Vindicators. 394. Shot 1. 382, shot 2. 364, shot 3. Should be shot 4. 360. This should be shot 5 coming up. Let's shoot a little lower. 350 feet per second. And the last shot, 6. See if we can get that bottom right. 312 feet per second. All right, that should be all 6 of these. That was the Vindicator. So we got ball bearings. We got the shaped projectiles, the Guardian, and we got the Vindicator. All on, well, these here on 24 grams, the 2. All right, now comes 6 of the Alien Play. These are 2.7 gram as we weighed them upstairs in the office. All right. I feel like I probably still have plenty of gas here to get through these, so we'll see what these Alien Play do at 2.7 grams. And I think we'll target up for that upper left. See if I can get that upper left. .396 feet per second, shot 1. 378 feet per second, shot 2. 356 for shot 3. 320 for shot 4. 286 for shot 5. And the last one of the Alien Play, solid aluminum. 222. I mean, you can see these rounds coming out. They're coming out very slow now. 222. So that pretty much completes the testing I wanted to do with these 4 different ammunitions. The steel ball bearings and the shaped ammunition and the 4 gram. And then the last but not least, the Alien Play aluminum, the 2.7 gram. So we'll go upstairs to the office and we'll run the numbers and we'll see what this baby did for us here, huh? We'll see what we did. All right. We'll see you in the office. Okay, here we are back in the office. Let's go over the numbers quickly. All right. So barring the silly mistake I made with puncturing all 3 12 grams and forgetting to turn on the on and off switch for the 2 times 12 gram in the stock. Barring that mistake, overall I think we got some good consistent numbers. The first thing I shot was the heavier 8.4 gram 12.7 millimeter ball bearings. Those numbers were actually from just a single 12 gram Crossman that was in the handle. No doubt I would have had on the tail end of those 6 shots, I would have probably seen better numbers if I had all 36 grams of CO2. So in the future, I'll have to test that again. Also, I want to test it with the 90 gram CO2. But let's go over these numbers quickly. There were 4 different ammunitions that I used. Mag 1 was the ball bearings, the heaviest ammunition. The first shot was 252 feet per second, yielding 24.77 joules. And then the hot shot was the second shot, 258 feet per second, 25.97 joules. Then we had 254 at 25.17 joules, 244 at 23.23 joules, 224 feet per second at 19.57 joules, and then the last shot of the ball bearings was 164 feet per second at 10.49 joules. Mag number 2, we were using the 3.5 gram less lethal ballistics Guardian, the shaped ammunition. That was started off with 434 feet per second, 30.62 joules. 428 feet per second, 29.78 joules, 420 feet per second, 28.67 joules, 418 feet per second, 28.4 joules, 414 feet per second, 27.86 joules, and the last shot with the Guardian ammo was 404 feet per second at 26.53 joules. That looks pretty good to me. That was pretty good. The third mag consisted of 6 shots, or 6 rounds of the 4-gram less lethal ballistics Vindicator rounds. We started off with shot number 1, 394 feet per second, 28.84 joules. 382 at 27.11 joules. 364 for 24.61 joules. 360 for 24.08 joules. 350 feet per second for 22.76 joules. And the last shot of the Vindicator rounds was 312 feet per second, yielding 18.08 joules. All pretty good numbers here for 4-gram ammunition. At that point, we were just firing, we were firing on 212 grams in the stock, so a total of 24 grams. The last mag, number 4, we were using 2.7 gram alien play solid aluminum rounds. First shot was 396 feet per second, yielding 19.66 joules. Then we had a 378 feet per second, 17.92 joules. And then we had a 356 feet per second, 15.89 joules, a 320 feet per second at 12.84 joules, 286 feet per second at 10.25 joules, and then we finished off at a rather low 222 feet per second, or 6.18 joules. We had a total of 24 shots. If you don't count the first 2 that I had, that had been the first 2 on the shaped ammo, and then I reloaded once I realized that I had been a dummy and forgot to turn on the on-off switch or valve. Ambient temperature today down there was 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about where it usually is in the winter. The Mag 1 was 6 rounds of the 8.4 gram 12.7 millimeter ball bearings. These rounds were also, I think pretty good numbers, considering those rounds were also shot through the tuning barrel without the extension. I could not use the extension because the extension is not, the bore is not big enough to handle those 12.7 millimeters. But the actual tuning barrel itself without extension worked nicely, and it was rather bore fitted pretty well. I forgot to turn on the rear CO2 2 times 12 gram, so the first magazine was only using the single 12 gram cartridge that was in the handle. That is the outcome of today, folks. So we're testing with 4 different ammunition. Was supposed to be tested on 36 grams, but they weren't combined, I guess. But anyways, that's today's numbers, and hopefully you find this educating, and if not, it's entertaining. Peace out, gentlemen.